Good morning, guys, and hope you're well on this supermoon in Taurus. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the flares. We've had a really big flare yesterday, and the supermoon obviously is about 10% bigger when it's a supermoon, so we feel its effects stronger in the body. And so I just wanted to pop on and say that it's a really big time. We're going through this really big ending of this year 9, and we're in the final gasps, I'm told by Spirit, of energetically ending this 26,000 year cycle. And it's quite a lot to get your head around, but I just wanted to just briefly give you a quick overview of my interpretation of what's happening. So Taurus is a sign that's very connected to the earth, and my belief it is now the first star sign in the zodiac, not Aries, just because of the divine feminine aspect of the planet and what we're trying to achieve in this lifetime, to heal the divine feminine within us and the divine masculine. But the feminine has to lead, because she always has done. It is Gaia. Gaia is the feminine energy, the aspect. And so the feminine energy is the magnetic energy, and the masculine is the electric energy. So everything starts with the womb, and that's the law of the universe, the cosmic womb and the physical womb if you're a woman. And if you're a man, remember that we hold both the template of the energy of the masculine and feminine, but you came out of a womb. So it's all connected. So the planets are lining up in a way, because Scorpio is the opposite sign of Taurus. The sun is in Scorpio and the moon is in Taurus. So we've got this perfect alignment of death and rebirth. And so the way that I'm being told is that there was a wave of souls that came to do this work ahead of time, and I consider myself one of those souls, because we were the strongest and the bravest souls to do this work. And I question that sometimes, but when you think that a lot of us have been doing it since 2012, I certainly started my awakening in 2016. It's been a long time. And the first wavers now are very energetically tired, spiritually tired, and we are waiting for the shift to happen so that we can feel much lighter in our body, because we're holding a lot of the energetic lower vibrations. We're propping it up basically with our light. So there's a split in humanity, the ones that are awake and the ones that aren't awake. And I do see a lot of judgment in groups that are definitely in spiritual groups that are supposed to be awake to what an ascension process is. And the ones that aren't awake, they're choosing not to be awake right now, and that's their choice. So there should never be a judgment. We're not all meant to wake up at the same time. In fact, it's probably better that we don't, because I look at the people that aren't awake right now, and I think that's a great place to be, because when you're asleep, you don't know what's going on, and you can just get on with life, almost oblivious to it. So I get it. Unfortunately, if you've come on this planet at this time, the majority of us are going to have to wake up, and that is what we're moving into now. My belief is that the majority of people, of souls on this planet, have got to wake up, and that is what we're waiting for. So this alignment of death and rebirth in this year 9 is now, and everything's lining up for that before we move into the 1111 corridor into winter solstice when the peak happens, so that we can completely release what we need to release, ready for next year. And then the people that aren't awake will wake up, and we'll deal with that when it happens. And none of us know. So a lot of the time now, I have to stay in the present moment, because if you're living in the past, you're depressed. And if you're living in the future, you're anxious. And that's for everybody. So I've learned that there's a lot of confusion out there. There's a lot of people professing to know the truth and the answers, and they don't, because nobody does, in my opinion. And so being in the present moment is where the power is. And when we can be in the present moment in our hearts, especially in nature, it's super powerful. And so it can take a good while, just to let the ego have its moment of trying to work things out. And then you just have to bring it back to the heart and say, we don't know. And if my daughter's listening, she'll be laughing, because I brought her up to say there's no such thing as don't knows. It's just it's a way of blocking our truth. But I can honestly say to her and on this video that I don't know. I've no answers. And for somebody that's had to have a strong ego, that's sometimes a difficult place to be. But it's getting easier. It's getting much easier, because I'm dropping the ego more and more every day. And I can see that. I can see it and feel it and know it in my body. And when I can see myself and feel into my body, everything's changing in my body, because I'm releasing the dense energy. And we'll see that more and more in people, that the eyes look clearer and we look clearer. And I honestly believe we're reversing the aging process when we do ascension, because we're releasing the dense energy. And that is very aging, when we are in a state of fear and feeling stuck and feeling despondent and feeling despair and feeling just generally low energy. You can see it in the face and in the body, because the body holds on. So it will hold on to weight, it will hold on to emotions, it will feel bloated. And a lot of the time, it's not that we're putting weight on, it's that we're suppressing the emotions, and we're not dealing with our truth, what's true to us. So this supermoon to me is really pushing this split now, and so that we can shed the skin of the past. I did a lot of work with my group on Monday and yesterday, releasing the old skin of the serpent energy of the south, so that we can birth this new energy, this template of this light body, this homo luminous body that is light based, not carbon based. And I'm still learning about all that, because it's just a memory. I don't learn in terms of knowledge. I learn from the codes that come down and the wisdom that I remember about who I am. So it's better to just try and stay in the present moment and not get too wrapped up in what people are saying, and just sense, does it feel right? I know this morning I've listened to something that felt quite important, and for the first 15 minutes of the message, it just didn't feel right. And I was listening and staying present, but I was really tuning into my gut. And then something was said and it flipped, and I got it. And I was like, yeah, that feels right. I understand now why I've stayed for so long listening. So it's really important. And the more we walk this ascension journey, the more the 3 power centers will come back online. The seeing of the magical eye, the third eye, the sensing within the heart, and the knowing, and the instincts of the gut will come back online stronger, so that you can navigate your own life without listening to other people's truth and it being yours. That is what it means to be sovereign. to be completely independent of other people's opinions and the collective's opinions, and just walking your own path and being okay with that. So the exciting part, I think, is next year. The ones that have walked this path for the last 12, 13, 14 years have chosen to be quite solitary and on their own. And I believe that next year we will reunite with our beloveds and our soul connections. And I think the wave of those people will come together and form new relationships, and it will be a beautiful thing, because a lot of us have been doing this work alone for a while. But what it will do, it will reinforce this love wave, this love energy that we need on the planet to raise the consciousness and help the second wavers. So imagine that all them people that are alone then fall in love at the same time. Imagine that what that energy will create on the planet, and then that energy and frequency that will be emitting from these new couples coming together in sacred union, not just in relationships, but in sacred relationships, honoring the divine masculine and the divine feminine. That's a whole new kind of relationship that this planet has not seen for a long time. That'll be based on a higher heart frequency, and so that power that will bring to the planet across the world will really help lift the second wavers up, and we will be way showers to show, the next wavers that, look, this is what's possible when you do the work. So if you're feeling achy and you've got tinnitus and ringing in your ears, and you're feeling I love the word discombobulated, and you just feel confused, it's okay. It's okay. That's exactly where you're meant to be. Just take rest time where you can, hydrate, eat healthy, and get out in nature and be with these guys, because they are our wise elders. They know. They have a knowing what to do in these times. So happy super full moon in Taurus, and yeah, let's see what it brings. But if it brings chaos, more chaos, then no, go in your heart, know that everything is going to be okay. The light has won, and we've got lots of lovely things to look forward to next year and the rest of this year. We've just got to get through it. So yeah, enjoy, look after yourself, and be kind to yourself and each other. Lots of love, guys.